The Blackthorn Podcast Network has awakened. From the thorns through the fog, the real ones rise. In a world choked with echo chambers and empty sound, a network is born from the marrow of myth, the grit of truth, and the unapologetic fire of those who walk the weird way. Welcome to the Blackthorn Podcast Network, a rogues gallery of hosts who don't just speak. They summon, they challenge, they ignite. Einar Blackthorn, forge-born, axe-tongued, eternally unbothered, host of I Am Heathen and So Can You. He's your favorite chaos druid with a mic. If your favorite chaos druid also ran a food truck and had opinions on runes and Star Wars. Gray, co-host of Geek Speak, a quiet storm of intellect and sarcasm cloaked in warmth and curiosity, sees the voice of nuance, the calm in the storm, and the one who catches what others miss. Together, Einar and Gray deliver Geek Speak, where folklore, fandom, and fire collide. Whether it's ancient relics or the MCU, nothing is off limits. Maddie, host of I've Got You Safe, Babe, protector of the heart, her voice is a lantern for the lost, a mix of witchy wisdom, fierce boundaries, and gentleness forged in battle. Heathen Burgundy, the velvet-voiced heretic, host of the Heathen Burgundy Hour and Walking the Pagan Path. He doesn't just sip the tea, he stirs the cauldron and burns the patriarchy with a smile. From witchcrafts to wisdom, from fandom to fury, from satire to sacred truth, Blackthorn is not just a podcast network. It's a hearth for the heretics, a call to the kindred, and a rebellion with a rhythm. Listen, share, join the circle. Streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and everywhere where the signal still reaches the wild ones. If the forest speaks, it speaks in our voices now. Walk with us. The Blackthorn Podcast Network.
Welcome back to I Got You Safe Babe podcast. This is an 18 plus podcast. Please come up if you are an adult and would like to talk about relationships and how religion impacts them. Welcome in. We are talking about religion and relationships. If you are above the age of 18 and would like to be a part of this podcast, we're talking about how religion impacts relationships and how that looks in dating world, in family, in friendships. Welcome in, welcome in. This is another episode of I Got You Safe Babe podcast. In my opinion, religion doesn't necessarily impact my relationships that much because I'm an omnitheist, so I'll just be like, cool, that's true for you. It has led to arguments with those of the Abrahamic faith on occasion. I have a friend who's made it his life mission since we were 6 to convert me to Christianity. I'm now almost 30, and he has not succeeded, so there's that. But yeah, I definitely think that it can very negatively and very positively impact relationships depending on what the religion is, how the conversations are phrased, how the conversations are received, and how those conversations develop over time, the amount of time those conversations take up in your relationship, right? But yeah, we were talking about how religion impacts relationships, be that with your family, be that with your friends, whatever the case may be. So if you're above the age of 18 and you would like to talk about how religion has impacted you and your relationships, please feel free to join the panel. Is depression a red flag? No. Not to me. However, we are talking about how religion may impact relationships. But no, I don't see depression as a red flag. It is quite literally a chemical imbalance in your brain. So how can you call that a red flag? It's simply a chemical imbalance. Your brain is not working at full capacity. That's all that is. A little therapy, sometimes medication, and you're good to go. Hello, how old are you?
Hello, how are you? I'm 19.
Awesome. Welcome to the podcast. How do you think religion impacts relationships? That can be friendships, family members, dating, however you want to take that.
All right, well, before I begin, I guess I should give a little bit of my background and ask you, what's your name?
My name is Maddie.
Pleasure to meet you, Maddie. I'm Pedro. So I come from a Christian background. I'm from Brazil originally, but I've lived in very different places in the world, mostly Christian countries, but I've had over like Muslim friends. And funny enough, actually, my girlfriend is Muslim.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah. So, but I've been studying a lot of theology myself and etc. And so here's my take on religion, because I am a very faithful person, but also I do think that religion brings a lot of negatives because, from my belief, with God and all the messengers he brought along, they have all the similar messages. At least in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, I haven't studied the rest, but they all bring good teachings. They all bring these similar teachings, to be a good person, to not to sin, to keep yourself faithful, etc. But the issue that comes around is humanity is always going to find something to divide people, right? So the same way they find race to be an excuse for division, they find soccer teams to be an excuse for division, they find religion to be an excuse for division, and this ends up creating so many problems with so many people. And I feel like I'm literally one of the only open-minded people that I am, like, because I've read all the three books and I understand all the differences between all of them. And I look at, for example, my mother-in-law, and I look at my mother, and they would be such good friends if there wasn't any religion involved, because they believe in the same things, they say the same things, they have the same teachings, they say everything the same. The only difference is about some man, Jesus, peace be upon him, but about their opinion about who Jesus was. My mom believes he was God, and then my mother-in-law believes he was just a prophet. Because of an opinion on one man from 2,000 years ago, and then,
So,
go ahead.
so the thing that is interesting with that is that your family, your mother, believes that Jesus is God, like as part of the Holy Trinity, or Jesus is God, because Jesus would be, biblically speaking, the Son of Man, right? And the Son of God, meaning he would be the Son of God, not necessarily God himself or
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
messenger,
no.
which is quite literally what a prophet is, right?
Yeah,
He was
exactly.
God's word lived per the Bible.
That's where
So,
it gets funny, yeah. So, actually, the thing is, so hold on, let me turn on my camera to get more. Can I even turn on my camera?
it depends on how many followers you have sometimes.
Oh yeah, I have like 12. Never mind. Okay. I just want to get more personal. I think it's better for talking. But no, yeah, it gets so funny to the point because I've seen with the context both from the Quran and the Bible, right, with the whole Trinity explained. It quite literally explains that Jesus is not like the Father, aka God, right? And that he obviously not he's not like any other prophet with the things he's done, but also he's not God. And so that literally creates like a mutual agreement between the Quran and the Bible in a way. And
In the
it get,
beliefs that are not the big three, right? So not Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, we have a word for that, and it's called a demigod. And a lot of people get really, really upset, especially Christians get really upset when I say that. But it's called a demigod. It's the child of a god and a human, right? Which is the definition of Jesus.
absolutely.
But people get really upset with that when I say that, and I'm like, well, Jesus would have been considered either a demigod or a great sorcerer, right? Or an
Absolutely.
alchemist is another
Absolutely.
term.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you 1,000,000%. It's funny because Muslims get offended because we're putting him too high up in the pedestal, and then Christians get upset because we're putting him too low on the pedestal, and then it just becomes this whole thing. But no, my mother, like, it's not that she thinks Jesus is God per se. She agrees with the Trinity. But then I try to explain to her that the Trinity literally means that then Jesus is the Messiah, as you would say. And
Mhm.
then she just starts blabbing because, like, there's a lot of, like, bad representation from both sides on Islam and Christianity on the media. And
Yeah.
so it just turns into this whole thing. So, yeah, it does become a problem with religion and
Absolutely.
relationships.
What are some of the main problems in your experience that you have noticed, right, between people who have different faiths? And is it the communication that isn't working, or is it the set in belief that makes it not work?
Honestly, I think it's both, but like the thing is because people don't talk enough. People don't want to talk enough, and people don't want to study enough about what they believe in. Like a lot of people sometimes say, "Oh, I'm Christian," but they don't even know why they're Christian. And people say, I'm Muslim," but like my girlfriend's mother, she like, of course, she practices Islam, she prays, etc. But she barely understands why she does the things she does. It's just because it's been preset into her. So people don't want to like if people were to fully understand what they believe in and like communicate thoroughly and patiently and not like let their emotions and ego get in the way, they would come to so much peace. It's ridiculous.
I agree. That is why I am an omnitheist, meaning I believe that all religions are true to the person who believes and practices it. Meaning, if you came to me and you're like, I'm a Christian and I am going through X, Y, and Z, and these are the things that are happening, will you pray for me? I'm not going to go do a ceremony to Odin. That would be disrespect, right? So I wouldn't
Absolutely.
go to the Norse gods. And I wouldn't go and be like, Zeus, help this person, because that would be disrespect, right? And I'm not going
Absolutely.
to be like, oh, well, you could really talk to Ra from the Egyptian pantheon. No, I'm going to say, okay, well, would you like me to light a candle under the intention that Jesus or God, Yahweh, comes and helps you?
Right.
Whatever that case may be, right? So I'm going to meet you where you're at as far as your religion. And I think that's why I don't have the conflict, because I will just take the standing of, okay, so you're a Christian. You believe that that's true. So let's work from that logic, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's Chris. But yeah, so that's definitely where I would say that it doesn't cause as many issues for me.
Maddie,
But
you're
I
so
do
smart.
also have people who um try to convert me. I have my best friend since I was 6 is still trying to convert me to Christianity. My ex-husband's mom is still trying to convert me to Christianity. She's so convinced I'm not going to go to heaven, and I'm like, "Listen, woman, I'm going to be so real with you. I love you because I choose to, not because some God told me to. You're a
Absolutely.
wonderful individual, and I love the things that you do. But we are not going to talk about Jesus anymore because I can't take any more of this. I love
Yeah.
you, but I can't take any more
Yeah,
of this.
absolutely.
Maddie,
Know?
why was I summoned? Hold on. There's so much going on that I gotta address.
Okay, hold on.
First of all, I was
Hold
summoned.
on. Welcome to I Got You Saved Babe podcast. Please introduce yourself and then let me know how you think religion impacts your relationships. That's the question of the day.
Is that why you got the microphone?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try to keep it together for you, Maddie. So my name is Christopher, and I'm from Arkansas. No, not you holding the mic to me, bro. My name is Chris, and I'm from Arkansas. I'm 21. I don't think in my opinion and in my experience, I don't think religion should affect any type of relationship whatsoever unless you let it affect your relationship.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
And that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Do I need to elaborate on that, or
No.
can I just okay?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with you a lot. I think that religion's it's like it's like race. If you think race should affect the relationship, you're just dumb.
I don't think anything. If you truly love somebody, I don't think like religious reasons or Christian or Christian beliefs or like racial or like all of that nonsense. I don't think if you really love somebody, I don't think it should get in the way of you finding love within that partner.
But that brings up an interesting question because a lot of Christians believe that you cannot love if you do not know God, right? So there's this saying that goes around by certain Christians that say, well, if you're not a Christian, then you don't know what love is, right? So how are you going to love
Maddie, are you a
someone if you
Christian?
don't know what love is? And I am not a Christian, but I would
Okay, and you still
argue,
love your husband, right?
and I would argue that I do know what love is. And yes, I adore my husband. I love my
Okay,
husband, of
so
course.
that automatically proves that statement false. And whoever Christian that said that to you, you're an absolute idiot beyond like anything that I could. Because of TikTok TOS, I can't say the other word I'd like to use, but he's an idiot.
Yeah.
No,
Hi,
absolutely.
Sissy.
Aunt Pagan. I welcome my guest
All
to
right,
the
hold on,
podcast.
hold
I
on.
guess she's got a microphone. She's holding it to my face. Let me talk into. I don't know what's going on. I'm just
Anyway,
here.
okay, so the topic today is how does religion impact your relationships? Just in general, it can be friendships, family, dating, whatever the case may be. And then, like, you're married, so like that's a whole different conversation.
Legally get that correct, please, and thank you.
Pardon?
Not legally.
Does that matter? That's your
Yes.
husband.
No, it's not. We haven't been together 7 years.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Oh, so we upsetty sketty today. Got it.
Excuse me, Pagan. Tell that man if he does not put a ring on that finger and say I do, I'm going to come down there and put my boot up his butt.
I don't want it.
You don't want, huh?
She upsetty sketty. Leave her alone. Anyways, how does religion impact that? And then if you'd like to introduce yourself for the podcast.
I am Pagan. I'm Maddie's sister and Liam's sister-in-law. How does religion impact relationships? In my case, I am actually the black sheep of my family because of religions, because I was born into Catholicism and Santeria, which I do practice Santeria, but I'm also a creature of multiple religions. Anyone who knows me knows that I dive into anything and everything that captures my attention, but it has caused a huge wedge, specifically with my Catholic family, because I'm going to be welcomed with open arms to the gates of hell. Which my response is, I already have a front row seat. You can join me.
Pagan, why are we talking in an accent?
I'm from Miami.
Because Pagan has an accent?
And I'm
Just
Hispanic.
I've listened to Pagan talk before. This accent's different. I know she's got a southern accent, but this one's a little.
I'm not Southern. I'm from Miami.
It's a Hispanic accent.
It's a Hispanic accent. That is the same accent she has always had. You've just tuned it out in the past.
I always assumed that she was whitewashed.
Wow.
No offense.
Mira, cante cabrón que no tiene pene.
Pinche
Cállate la
perra.
boca.
Pinche perra.
Güey. Entonces,
Yeah, I know a little bit of Spanish.
Okay,
Pagan.
enough. Chris, shut your mouth before I drop you.
Sister.
What? What did I do, Maddie? I didn't do nothing.
You called my sister whitewashed.
Sissy.
But
Yes.
she's. Never mind.
Tell Paco he's a hondigas.
Yes. Listen, I see it as, unfortunately, especially with the older family and with the older generations, religion does divide people. It does divide relationships. And it shouldn't. You're absolutely right. It shouldn't, but it does. And if you're born, and it's the same thing as culture and race. If you're born into certain cultures and certain races, you're not allowed to date outside of your culture or your race. You're not allowed to date outside of your religion in a lot of religions.
Absolutely,
Like-
yeah. It's just like I was saying with my case. I'm Christian and my girlfriend's a Muslim, and I've been going through a lot of troubles with it, especially when it comes to family and all that. But the reality is that the problem is just a lack of knowledge and a lack of wanting to communicate with a lot of
It,
people.
it is.
So Pedro, the problem is with your families. The problem doesn't reside within you and her.
Yeah, absolutely.
As
But
long
that's
as you,
still
as long as you
something.
both, as long as you both have, what's
But that's still something that he's observed as friction in his life,
right?
especially because from what Pedro's expressed, he absolutely loves his mother and he absolutely loves his mother-in-law, but those two women can't be in the same room together because they argue.
No, they can. They don't. Okay, to be honest, they barely speak the same language. My mother-in-law speaks French, and my mother speaks English and Portuguese. But they
Pero
don't
fala
really.
português?
Sí, yo hablo español y portugués.
Okay.
I'm Brazilian, so yeah, I speak a little bit of
So am
both.
I. I'm part Brazilian.
Oh,
I
really?
guess.
Brasileiro. Oh,
You-
agora sim.
Hi
Tá bom,
guys, I'm just
tá bom.
white. I'm just white, guys. Nice to meet y'all. I'm just white. I don't know.
Chris.
I speak more
Tell
Spanish than Portuguese.
Ah, that's cool. I speak more Portuguese than Spanish, so it
Wait,
is.
what?
so
No,
mean.
Maddie. How can pagan be
Hi,
Hispanic? and
Izzy.
you be white?
I just want to tell you that today's question is, how does religion impact relationships? That's the question if you would like to come up. And to answer your question, Chris, how can me and Pagan look so different and have different biology? Because family is built, not born.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh right, yeah, I forgot about that because I'm part of the family too, and I'm just white.
Yeah. Well, where was
Was
I?
that funny, Pedro? Is
Okay,
that just...
hold on.
No. Because I find it funny because
No, I'm playing, Pedro. I'm playing. I'm a joke.
Chris, if you keep cutting people off, this is your last warning, please. This is open panel for it, but it is going on to an actual podcast, so I do need some type of order. Thank you.
As we were. No, I just find it funny because I've been living in the United States for a couple of years now, and like everyone always comes up to me and say, "Oh, Pedro, but you're not really white because you're like Brazilian, yada yada." But like I just see myself as white. Like yeah, I happen to be born in Brazil, but my skin is just as white as the next person's. You know, it doesn't change my race. So I find it funny how.
Me personally, Pedro, I don't see color. I just see one person. I just see a person.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I like that.
Okay, still just 100. You had a few comments in the chat, so I decided to bring you up. How old are you?
I'm 31 years old. I'm from the UK.
Okay, so how do you believe that religion impacts relationships?
Well, basically, I don't really think it's the religion that's got the impact. I think it's like, yeah, the spiritual warfare that comes along with everything. Like my mum is, yeah, I have a lot of, yeah, all of these flags in my bio is all of me nationalities basically, because I have a lot of mixed blood, and I think some of the cultures should not have been clashed, and some of the curses have passed down over time, and they've passed on to me.
What do you mean by the spiritual warfare?
Like basically, I have Scottish family, I have Irish family, and then I have African family, I have Trinidadian family, I have Arab family. Do you get me? So my dad's Arab.
So it's a big mix of cultures and religions all in one spot, is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, my mum
What are
was.
some? So what do you mean by spiritual warfare? Are you talking about the arguments about the core of the different beliefs themselves, or are you talking about like each person spiritually practicing against each other? Like what exactly do you mean by spiritual warfare? Because like my sister Pagan practices a
What I mean
completely
is,
different
like,
path than I
even
do,
if-
but we still want the
even if
best
it's
for
right,
each
like-
other.
You might want the best for each other, and you might love each other, but because you're of a different lineage, you have spirits what are trying to come in between, and it causes like certain. So basically, you have to like protection from that. Do you get me?
I don't need protection from her. On the contrary, I protect her.
And vice versa. So there would not be a time where I would do anything that would hurt my sister, and there would not be a time where
No,
she
that's
would do
because he's a
anything that would hurt
Muslim.
me. So I'm confused as to what you mean by spiritual warfare. And
I didn't know you meant siblings.
in your bio, you said that you're a slave to God and all these things, right? So I understand if you're talking from a Christian standpoint that there's this very I'm right, you're wrong belief, right? But in both of our beliefs, there is no right and wrong, no black, no white. There is simply care or disdain. Like we either care for you, and in so doing, we protect those we care about, or we don't care for you, and therefore we don't go out of our way to bother with what happens or doesn't happen to you. Like, it's not our business type thing, right? So when you say spiritual warfare, and that's on both of our sides. Like, if we don't care, we don't care. Like, what happens happens, and that's not our business, right? And so I'm confused on what you mean by the spiritual warfare and the spirits passed down through the lineage.
Basically, I think basically children are born innocent, and my mum was born Protestant, Christian, and my dad was born Muslim into Islam. Yeah, so when she's actually crossed cultures and things like that, I think there's been a curse what's being passed along with that. Do you get me? And that's her wrongdoing, because, like, if you was to read the Bible, as you were stating, not to, didn't your sister say not to cross cultures earlier?
So, can I ask a question? Are you kind of in the thinking of like your ancestral spirits from the lineage, because some of them were Christian, some of them were Muslim, and some of them were Protestant or Catholic and slightly different variations of Christianity, that because those ancestors, those ancestral spirits and the energy behind that would cause issues within the person's relationship? Is that where you're in the mind of?
Yes,
Okay.
because you could actually, like...
Did you know that every single person's ancestors have been many different religions, especially if you're mixed
Ethnicities.
nationality and things like that? At one time in this world, Christianity and the Muslim faith and the Jewish faith didn't exist, and it was all pagan faith. And before that, it was animism, and before that, it was
Sorry, what did you say it was before paganism?
animism. And before it was animism, there was another religion that came right before animism. I just can't remember exactly what the name of it is, the term is. But everyone's ancestors, right, has such a wide, vast variety of different ethnic and religious backgrounds. Because you're talking hundreds of thousands of years of generations of people, or tens of thousands of years of generations of people from all over the world migrating and intermixing and breeding and sharing culture and tradition and things like that. So, like, the bigger part of your ancestry, believe it or not, would not be Christian, would not be Muslim, would not be Jewish, would not be Catholic. The bigger part of your ancestry would be pagan and then animistic, because you have tens of thousands of ancestors that came before Christianity, right? So are you saying that because those ancestors have a difference in faith, that they would be having conflict within you, or conflict for the relationship that you have with other people?
I'm not sure if it's because of the different faith of what they had, but I think it's more because we were from different nationalities. Because my nan crossed cultures, because my nan's dad was from Sierra Leone, my nan's dad was from Trinidad, went to Sierra Leone, and when he came to England, her mum was St. Lucian and half Scottish.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So, sorry it's long and I'm going around this, but it makes a point. And these are my mum's parents, so my mum's, that's my mum's lineage on here. You get me? So my mum's dad is Chinese. That's where she crossed. That's what I was trying to get at, because my mum's dad's like Chinese and Guyanese and Portuguese. but he's like mainly Chinese. So it's like a black crossing with the Chinese, and then it's a black crossing with the Arab on the next generation when it came down to me.
Yeah.
So it's like a double curse for me already.
Has
Like I
anyone
don't
ever
sound
told you?
racist when I say that,
Anyone
but
ever
deep
told
down,
you?
that's what I believe.
Has anyone ever told you that you get to pick and choose which ancestral spirits you get to decide to allow in your space? Ones that you staunchly feel like you do not agree with, you can tell them you're not welcome in my space, and guess what? They're still part of you, but they're not in your space anymore. They can't affect you because you have literally told them, because you are the living being, right? And they are deceased in the afterlife. The ones that you don't want in your space and affecting you in the way that you're feeling that they can affect you, you have the power over them as a living being, right? To tell them, you're not welcome here. I respect you. You're part of my family. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. But the things you did and believed in are not what I believe in, and I don't want that energy around me, so stay out.
And as a Christian, there's and I'm assuming you're Christian from your bio, yes? Like you practice Christianity?
To be honest, I was born Muslim. I went to a Catholic school, and I was raised with my mum side of the family. But my mum taught me Islam growing up, even though my dad wasn't there. Do you get me?
Yeah.
And then as I've
So
got
what
older,
would you say you are now, as yourself, as an adult?
as an adult, I have Muslim beliefs, but I believe anything what's Abrahamic law, basically.
Okay. So when we're looking at that, right, if you're believing as a Muslim would, right, then you would believe in jinn and those spirits being within your blood, those ancestral spirits. So do you go to mosque or no?
Basically, I try to not. I don't know. I try to not be Muslim, and because I don't
Well,
know if
you can deconvert. So I'm gonna tell you something that's a little bit controversial. There's a term that is called deconstruction, and that a lot of people are like, "Oh no, you're trying to like push me away." No, 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 no. Deconstruction is a personal journey of asking yourself what you believe, why you believe it, and if it's something that you still want to believe. Even if there's things in it that go against what you believe is right. Like, I want to believe this because it's what's best for me, right? That is the process of deconstructing. Asking yourself why you believe it and digging into the texts from that religion. So it sounds like because you're believing anything that's Abrahamic, you would be
yeah,
digging into the Torah, the Talmud, the Bible itself, as well as the Quran, right? So
yeah.
all of those things are going to give you answers, and you can ask yourself over and over again, is this the God I choose to serve? Because there's an idea in Judaism where you're supposed to question God. You're supposed to ask God, why am I supposed to believe in you and why am I supposed to choose you? In Christianity, it doesn't have the same undertones, but it can be still questioned, is this a God that I agree with, right? And then in Islam, it's the same. Why is God doing what they are doing? What school of thought am I going to follow, right? What teachers am I going to listen to? And as you go through and decide for yourself, because this is something that doesn't get taught when you are raised within religion, it's a part of critical thinking that kind of gets missed, right? Asking yourself, do I believe what is in this text? Yes or no is up to you. Why do I believe what is in this text? Yes or no is completely up to you. Is this text fulfilling me and giving me guidance in the way that I want? Yes or no is completely up to you. And as you go through and you learn and you ask yourself through the process of learning, is this for me? You will find exactly who you are. I'm not here to tell you pick a religion. I'm not here to tell you pick a faith. I'm not here to tell you choose this or choose that. No, I'm here to tell you to think for yourself, to decide what influence you do want, what influences are no longer serving you, what influences you're forever grateful for but no longer want to control you, right? And those are all valid. Whatever you choose to do is going to be justifiable to you. And it makes you stronger in whatever faith you choose. It makes you stronger in whatever God you believe in. It makes you stronger and able to stand on your own and not just believe something because it was your mother's way or your father's way, but make the active choice. When we talk about free will or agency of choice, right? Those concepts matter. And they matter for a very specific reason. If you are following a God simply because you were told to, right? You've never fully committed to that God or that faith. But if you are learning about the faith itself and finding that that faith brings you joy, happiness, guidance, direction, structure, stability, routine, whatever it is that you need, right? If you are finding that in that faith, right? Then when people ask you, what religion are you? You can answer with, I am this religion unshakably, right? When people ask me, what religion are you? I tell them I am an omnitheist. I believe that all religions are true to the person who believes it and practices it. Meaning, I'm not here to strip anything away from anyone, but to learn from everyone. Does that make sense?
I actually said to my mother the other day, I'm an omniate, and she said to me, what's that? And when I explained it to her, she said, that's what I am as well.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And omnitheism is great because you never have to choose. You never have to make that hard decision. You get to go through life learning. Omnitheists are lifelong learners of other people's hearts. That's it. We get to learn about other people's hearts, and that, to me, is the most beautiful thing. I get to learn about people's hearts, what makes them happy, what makes them sad, what gives them purpose. That's my shadow. My shadow, the shadow that heals. In the Bible, there is a story of Jesus' shadow passing over someone and healing them, right? They barely touched. My shadow will be a shadow of understanding, of learning, of critical thinking, right? And that's all I could ever ask for. That is genuinely what I hope to leave on this earth, is a shadow of someone truly loved me enough to know me at my soul level. There are people I haven't talked to in years, and I still remember their favorite ice cream flavor, or that thing that broke them in 3rd grade, or that thing that hurt their heart in high school, or the way they broke when their first girlfriend broke up with them and what they needed as support from a friend, right? Those are all things I remember about people that I still don't even talk to.
Yeah,
But they're the same people that reach out when they're going through a hard time. Like, do you remember? Can you just listen for 5 minutes while I rant? Yep, I got you. Because that care never goes away. Once I care forever.
Yeah, I gave you a follow, by the way. Similar people who always try and reach out to me because, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can sense genuinity in it.
Nein. Und ich verlege.
He's yelling at the dog, not you.
Du är sieben.
I know.
Perfekte Nein.
9 means no. I know. I heard that real clear. Oh, I didn't do it. That's
No, but still just 100 muted his mic, so I didn't want him to think my husband was yelling at him. He's not. He's yelling at the dog, I promise.
I was thinking, is he talking to somebody else?
No.
Nein, Freya.
Speaking a different language?
My dog is a menace. For those of y'all who don't know, I have a German short-haired pointer. She's a menace. I love her. She's a menace.
I think Liam forgot that you're gonna put this in your podcast.
Does your husband talk to your dog in German?
Yes.
Ja, Deutschlander.
But she said, yo, that's crazy.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch. Ja.
And he speaks Dutch too. Yes.
Yo, big up you, bro.
I speak Old Scots Gaelic. I speak a little bit of German, a little bit of Icelandic, a little bit of Norwegian, a little bit of Old Norse, a little bit of French, and a little bit of Japanese and English, and a tiny, 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 insignificant amount of Espanol.
No hablo
Ok,
español,
muy
no
bien.
entiendo nada.
Es lo que está mirando, no entiende nada.
Nada.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Mujer.
Él dice, mujer.
Listen, with me,
Hombre.
yes, everyone knows.
Cabron.
I do not commit to. Oh, Nans, I can't with you. I love you though. I do not commit to one religion myself. I make it, and it's been a passion since I was a child to learn as much from different religions and be able to make the decision, is this something I might want to stick my feet into? Is it not something? Do I practice certain religions? Yes, I do. I practice certain faiths. I do 100%, especially some that I was born into, because my family is divided into two separate types of religious backgrounds for the most part. And then there's me who just collects religions like they're freaking dictionaries and
Actually spoken to you, you know, but we're actually friends. That was crazy for me to find out. So, are you actually
what?
pagan? Because it's
Am
in
I
your name.
pagan?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I practice paganism as well.
You can match.
I I practice paganism as well, amongst other things. I practice Santeria, I practice Brujeria, I practice Palo, I practice Buddhism. There's a lot that goes into pagan. And it's not because, and people like to say, oh, is it because you can't commit to one God? Why would I commit to one when I can commit to as many as I want to? When I can learn as many as I want to? When I can immerse myself in other people's beautiful religious ways and understand what makes them so passionate about a certain type of religion.
It's good to understand other people, to understand other people, yeah. But
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful thing to understand other people, because I was once married to a Muslim man. I was legally married to a Muslim man for 9 years. And as much as he tried, because Lord, that man tried, it wasn't for me. It's too controlled for me. It's a beautiful religion, but it is not for me because, number one, I am tattooed. I wear whatever the hell I want, and I believe whatever I want.
Go get the chingadera.
Stop.
But as far as other people's religion, I don't knock another person's religion unless you want to see me get pissy when it comes to religion, is when someone tries to shove their religion down my throat. And then I will tell you about yourself.
Yes.
And that is where my boundaries are. I don't push my deities, my gods, my goddesses, my elements, my creatures onto you. Don't force your.
That's a lie. That's a straight up lie. First of all, let's start there.
Who do
Second
I-
of all,
whose
second of all, you
I don't-
sent the man bear thing to my house uninvited.
You needed protection.
Man bear pig?
My child wanted to pet it.
It was safe.
I have a
But
question.
No, I'm
Yes.
just joking.
Am I man bear pig? Was I the one who was summoned?
actually, yes. Yeah, actually, yes. I wrote you into Sissy's life, and I'm gonna look for that journal entry. Because I wrote you into Sissy's life. Don't ask me who, what, where, when, why. But there was, and I don't know if you remember that journal entry, Sissy.
Oh no, I remember it, and I was like,
I wrote you into my sister's life. You couldn't be more detailed of what I wrote if I needed it to be.
Do I fit the description?
yes,
Yes. Looks and everything.
yeah.
Yes.
Is it just the two of you, or do you have more siblings?
Well, there's a lot of us, but it's mainly us two. We're not related by blood, we're related by heart.
Yes.
We are two bodies, one soul, is what most consider us to be.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta come down.
Get
Yeah,
it,
she has to come down here. Screw you, Nance. She's mine.
Hey, that's her job, not yours. So no.
I hard. That is a very hard pass.
but being assuming you're blood siblings the whole time.
It would be hilarious. We actually think
If
that
we came
somewhere.
out of the same hoo-ha, there would be a problem, but we are both gonna have the same mom because the same person is legally adopting us. And we
Mhm,
found that out later. Like,
mhm.
we both started the process, and then, like, I think it was 2 months after the process started, she pulled us into a group chat and was like, by the way, you're about to be legally siblings. You're welcome.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. We are not legally siblings yet. We are not blood related, even though I seem to think, and I swear one day I'm gonna do our ancestry because her and I have to be linked somewhere.
There has to be some connection somewhere.
There has to be because we are so in tune with each other that it is hilarious. We are literally polar opposites. And when I say that, Maddie is blonde, blue eyes, fair skinned. I am dark hair, Hispanic, dark eyes, dark features. So it's like
We are
we're
literally opposite on so many ways. And when you get mad, your eyes go dark, and when I get mad,
mhm,
mine glow. They're
yeah.
they're very different.
Hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, you know, are you in a I'm sorry if I'm being personal, but are you in a relationship still, just or
Yeah.
100? I don't. Do you and your partner have the same religious beliefs?
This is a crazy one. Basically, she's Hebrew Israelite,
Interesting.
and she believes it's not
I
like it's not a
actually
good
didn't
thing for it to be
mean to
with a
come in
Muslim.
here. I didn't mean to come in here. This happened on accident. I still don't know how I got in here, but
Because I sent you
yes,
the invite. The
no, I
question
was
is,
stalking on. No, I was stalking on the For You page, just watching you guys, and the next thing I know, somehow I tapped into the live. What's your question?
That
the
because that's what you
question
get for
is,
stalking us from the outside.
yeah. The question is, how does religion impact relationships in your life?
Um, how does religion impact relationships in my life? My life? For
Hmm.
Yes,
instance,
ma'am.
I think that Vessel Marie Token is a god and preacher hates him. So that's all I can say right now. But I'm tired. It's been a long day. I'm glad that Nance is finally awake though.
Nose holes, looker.
You came in Preacher's Live and sat there for like 30 minutes and didn't say shit. I called your name like 5 times. I even called you Nancy Holes at one point.
He called you nose hole lookers, but it might have gotten filtered.
Oh. I kept trying to talk to him and he didn't say anything. I'm like, did feller fall asleep? Little BB got sleepy, but that's all I really know how to answer this question right now. Vessel
The
Marie
way
Token
my
is a god.
friends troll my husband, and he just laughs. I love it.
It's not my fault he's got pretty jewelry. I promise, the next time I
But I
accidentally
do agree with you that Vessel is far more than just an artist, and that's something that has been talked about a lot. Is Vessel chose the name Vessel for a reason. There's a reason he calls himself a vessel. There's a reason why the person who is able to sing the exact same way and has the exact same aesthetic here in the United States got reposted by Sleep Token with the caption, and this is the American vessel from Sleep Token, because it isn't ever just about him. That's why anonymity matters to him.
Yeah. But I'm actually gonna go to bed. All I know is if
Okay.
I ever get sucked into the Cave of Wonders, that's Nan's holes is nose holes. I will make sure that I take the pretty jewelry and use it as a door knocker to find my way back out. Love you guys. Good night.
Love you. Good night.
No peace.
Hey Rogue, welcome to I Got You Safe Babe podcast. This is a live wire if you'd like to introduce yourself. And the question of the day is, how does religion impact your relationships?
That's like a multi-answer question, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it all depends on, like, one, it depends on the person themselves, because you have those that are accepting, and you have those that aren't. But also the main thing is communication. And letting each other kind of know. Like, I let a lot of my friends and people that I've dated and my fiance know, like, hey, I have family that's Catholic, but I'm pagan. Do I still understand the Catholic beliefs? Yes. Do I respect them? Yes. But I think for me, it's more of, do you respect each other? Because if you're not going to respect each other, that's where the issue is going to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think that most issues can be solved with communication. Most. Not all, but most.
Exactly. And if you're not supposed to be with each other, then that's fine. That's what the universe decided. You're not supposed to be with each other. But, you know, in this world, it's better to just accept, even if you may not agree. Like, if I met someone that I was like, oh, I don't agree with your choice, but I'm not going to force you to believe mine. We can have that middle ground. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
That's fair. Still just 100, you did unmute for a moment. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, no, basically, I was just going to ask. I only know like the basis of paganism. I don't know a lot about it. Like, I wanted to ask, what's it about? Like, what do you believe in?
So atheism is its own thing. That's a lack of belief in gods. So there's Gnostic atheism, so those who know there is no God because science has disproved it convincingly to them. And then there's agnostic atheism, which says, I don't know if there's a God, but it would not change my life if there was, so I'm just going to live this life. Then when we're talking about paganism, there's so many different religions, right? There's Greek paganism, there's Celtic paganism, there's Norse paganism, there's Hermetic paganism, which comes out of Egypt, right? There's so many different ones. There's Native American animism, so many different religions, and they're all different. They're
Paganism
different
that
gods.
has disciples.
Pardon?
The paganism that has 12 disciples and somebody was born on the 25th of December and so on. Like,
Yeah, so that
how,
would be if you worshipped the 12 disciples, yeah, as if they were gods. In which case you would have multiple deities, which would make that a polytheistic religion. But that does not make that an actual religion. I have not heard of that, but I'm not discounting it either.
I've heard something similar about it, but I didn't know too much detail, so I was trying to ask about that, really. I was just trying to ask. So thank you.
Paganism isn't just one god. Paganism isn't just one faith. Paganism has many branches, many different cultures, beliefs, backgrounds, lineages, as you call them and speak of.
So, like, for instance, this is where people get frustrated when they follow the Abrahamic God, okay? But the Abrahamic God, Yahweh, actually comes from a different pagan sect. And he was a god of metalworking and war, which makes sense when we look at the Old Testament and how he ruled and then the changes that happened after, right? But that does not mean that that religion cannot stand alone, because it can. Each Abrahamic faith can stand alone, or they can stand connected as related faiths under the God of Abraham, right? So when we look at that, right, think of polytheism as an umbrella. And under polytheism is all the different religions that believe in multiple gods, meaning more than one god, right? So all of those would fall under polytheism. And then above on the umbrella, so we have polytheism, right? Above that is a bigger umbrella of paganism, and paganism can be so many other things that fall outside of polytheism as well. So when we're talking about paganism, truly the definition is simply anything that does not fit the main four religions, which would be Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism. Those are the four main religions
Why
of
does
the world.
Hinduism come under the same thing?
Hinduism is a different religion. It's just one of the main four, so it would not fall under the pagan umbrella because it is too big, essentially.
Yeah, a lot of times with like Bestie down there said and Sissy Maddie said, with paganism, it's the belief in multiple gods, but some Hinduism or others that have the big span of like a lot of gods and a lot of more than just worshipping the deities themselves, but other things underneath it, is why that is its own separate group. Because other groups of paganism, like I said, it's a big genre, they focus on a lot of times the deities, where other groups that are separated from paganism more focus on not just the deities, but the underlining things as well.
Yeah, and I would also say that if we're going to use that same analogy of umbrellas, right? There's a large umbrella that says main religions of the world, and under that you have the big four. And then you would have, under that umbrella, you would have belief in self, which is where Hinduism would fall. And then you would have belief in a singular God, which is where you would get Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So those are two separate umbrellas that are under the same big umbrella. If that makes sense.
Also, the bestie had to leave because baby.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, did you say paganism says that there was another god before Yahweh? So does that mean that there was another creator of the whole universe? This is what I'm trying to get to originally.
So that would come down to creationism, right? So we would have to talk about if we believe that the world was created or if the world simply exists. And those are two very big concepts and ones I don't like to touch because my stance on it is I don't know if the world was created and I don't know if the world evolved or if it simply exists. And none of those three things are going to change the life that I am living right now, right? Right now, I have a choice to be a good person. I have a choice to be respectful. I have a choice to be responsible. I have a choice to be loving, right? Right now, I have a choice to live my existence now. And how I got here, how I got to this earth, that doesn't really have a bearing on it. So for me, it's
What
kind
about
of
where you go
I don't
after
care.
Earth? What about where you go after Earth?
That is, again, it is based off of
You don't care.
one
You
person.
wouldn't want to know.
So
That
I believe that a person
No,
never
sorry,
truly dies until they are forgotten. Immortality is being remembered. So if I were to care where I went after my physical existence ended, right? To me, that's irrelevant to my physical existence because my physical existence is what I choose to do now. But what happens after I pass away? In this world, I know that there are people who will grieve. I know that there are people who will hurt. I know that there are people who will remember, right? And I know that there are things that will be said that will carry my memory on longer than my body is going to hold out. And maybe I have a different view because I'm actively passing away. Maybe I have a different view because I'm chronically ill. Maybe I have a different view because of that. But all I have is right now and the memories that I've made up until now. Because it is a high likelihood that I could not wake up tomorrow.
So do you believe that we're just human flesh, or do you believe we have a soul?
Humans are made up of memories, emotions, and flesh and blood. Hopes, dreams, prayers, thoughts. At the end of the day, whether that constitutes a soul or not, I don't know. But it doesn't affect who I am or my existence right now. Does that make sense?
I agree with that. For me, I believe more in the way of my cousin described it perfectly to me because I always thought about it but never could get the grasp of the wording, but that we're all kind of stardust. We all came from our own little stars. Some of us from the same star, some of us from a little particle over there and a little particle over there, but we still have, like Maddie said, those memories. Our like lives right here and now, where it's like, yes, there are people that are like, well, past lives and, you know, all the way back then, or different ways of religion. And for me, I'm in the way of like, yes, I can agree with all that, but like, I'm focused on now. Like, I'm focused on, oh, like, this can happen. Or like Maddie said, hey, I could go the next day, but what I'm doing now is kind of the most important part. And if I'm doing good, then fuck yeah. If I'm doing bad, well, fuck you, whoever is the narrator of my story, and if we need to have a talk.
I don't have a narrator. I'm my own narrator. But Still Just 100 had a thought.
Yeah, I'm basically Rogue, just clearly answered. Well,
Be honest. I love honesty.
honestly, the point I was trying to get to is, in my opinion, I'm scared of like, if Judgment Day comes, I really want to know who the original creator is, who I'm like, who's going to be questioning me. And did you get me?
I am so sorry that someone or something convinced you that your entire life was just a trial for the next one. That makes me sad. And you know why that makes me sad?
What?
That makes me sad because it takes away from the beauty of now, right? If we're going biblically, Judgment Day is based on your acts and your thoughts and what you did, not your belief in any specific God. It even says that those who did not know Jesus, who did good simply because it was good, will go into heaven because they didn't need the blueprint to know what was good and bad. They simply did good. So don't worry so much about what's right and what's wrong for a God that's going to judge you one day. Live well. Do kind things for others.
I get told that if you don't believe Jesus is the Son, then you're going to the hellfire. You get me? But
I'm going to explain something to you biblically. There is only one version of hell that was created for humans. And it was not Ganesha, which is the lake of fire. And it was not monsters with gnashing of teeth. Nor was it the dark place where you live with demons. Those were created for the demons, the Nephilim, and the angels who turned against God. There is one version of hell for humans, and it is called the abyss. It's just disappearing, separated from God, and returning to nothing. Is that really so bad? Genuinely.
And
Hold on, Rogue. Is that really so bad? To just not exist? Because whether you're wrong or right? The only version of hell for humans is a seizure to exist. As if you never were.
because what I don't understand is how somebody already wrote a book about what it looks like in there, and that it's a prophet who said that's actually God's word. You get me? And
So, did this person have a near unaliving experience or be
I don't
declared dead and come back?
I don't know.
So, there are many books from people who have been declared dead and come back. But there's also been scientific studies on what happens to the brain as you are actively passing. What happens to your brain when you're actively passing is a bunch of different endorphins are released, including one called DMT. And DMT causes you to do hallucinations, right? It causes you to imagine things. Some people say that the best moments of their life replay. Some people say that the worst moments of their life replay. Other people see hands coming out of the ground to grab them. And others see a bright light and a room with people waiting for them, right? There's all these different stories about it. But you have to remember what DMT does to your psyche. It's making you see things that aren't there. So as you're going through that process, if you're resuscitated, you may have memories of those hallucinations as if they were real because they were the only existence that you had in the time you were passing. So,
Okay, what about deja vu? Or what about if like you've seen something before that happened?
so like premonition,
Yeah.
I think some people have an in tune nature. They're in tune to the world around them, or maybe they're in tune to a source. I can't answer that question for you because I don't know.
And a lot of times too with deja vu, like my sissy Maddie stated, some people are very in tune, or I like to also say in the way of, if you've ever watched the TV shows like Psych or Criminal Minds, how Spencer Reed like analyzes something that not a lot of people would see, and sometimes those that are in tune don't even realize they're seeing it. And then
Pattern recognition.
Yep, and years pass, and then suddenly they go, why did this happen before? Why do I feel like this happened before? And it's like, oh, because it did. You just didn't realize it, because sometimes those memories we don't remember. Maddie can tell you, I have moments where I go, this happened, and Maddie goes, I know, that happened like last year. And I went, what?
Yep. And it feels the same. So when you're going through a breakup, right? Your next breakup, you're going to feel differently about it. You're going to feel like I've already been through this, right? The reason why we feel that, it's a form of deja vu. It's a pattern recognition, right? We know when a relationship is ending before it's done because pattern recognition. That's something that's human nature, right? But when we're talking about like deja vu in situations like walking through a door and being like, I've seen this before, and it's a door you haven't been in, it could be a premonition, and it could be you've been in a very similar house. I don't know. And I'm not here to tell you that I do, because I don't. Right? I don't know, and I can't force you to believe or disbelieve anything. I say question everything and decide what to believe. For you. Not for anybody else. For you.
Okay, Maddie, I actually might be able to answer a little bit for you on that behalf, because I have actually had dream premonitions quite often, where I will literally vividly see an entirely space in my dream and go and tell my parents or my best friend or whatever the situation might have been at that time. And not even a month later, I'd be in that exact scene and I'd be like, holy crap, I had this dream. What the hell? So, it is
I've had
very,
some of
very
those too.
possible. How I get them exactly, though, I cannot explain.
I've had the same dream more than once.
So have I, which is also why I refuse to step foot into the Winchester Mystery House. Explanation for later on Maddie's end.
Oh boy.
Okay. So today's question is, how does religion impact relationships? Since Vamp is new to the panel.
Honestly, I'd honestly say in that factor, it depends on the person's personality and how much they're willing to communicate. because my other half isn't necessarily Christian or Catholic, however, does believe in one main thing in the world. He doesn't quite know how to explain it, but he believes in one creation or creator, so to speak. And I basically explained to him how my religion is, as Celtic pagan. I believe in, well, the tree of life being the creator of all. And I told him it's kind of similar how I see it. But the biggest concept that we have, how it affects in our relationship, is the fact that we're willing to sit down and talk to each other and hear each other out and understand where we see each other in and how we see our relationship as religion.
Yeah, I fully understand that because me and my husband are completely different faiths as well. He is Nordic polytheistic animist, which is an old way of Norse paganism, and I'm an omnitheist. I believe the new stuff, the old stuff, the in-between stuff. You teach me about it, and I am so excited to learn, right? I want to know because I want to know what other people believe, and I want to know why they believe it, and I want to understand their hearts, right? But that doesn't mean that I think that all things will work for me, right? I can believe that it is true and that it works for you without taking from that if I choose not to. And that's okay. That doesn't make it less true. My dog is jumping on me, and apparently I had 3 seizures last night. Vulnerability moment. Apparently I had 3 seizures last night and swallowed my tongue. Apparently my husband gave me medicine. I don't remember any of it. The last thing I remember is my husband taking the dogs out and then trying to talk to me, and I couldn't get words out of my mouth. And I finally did, and I was like, I don't feel good. And apparently that was around 2 a.m. and he was up until like 4 dealing with me having 15-minute long seizures all night. So, yay.
So
I give you my short distance, long distance hug.
same, but is your dog alerting to you?
Do you want the honest answer or the easy answer?
I want the honest answer in the way of, like, even though I don't know if the baby's been trained or not, like,
I
are they
want both.
rude?
He has not been trained, yet he has been doing deep pressure on my legs so well that I have bruising from it.
Yeah, natural. Natural.
He has this extreme, almost irritation anytime he's taken away from me when I'm not feeling well. And one day I was sitting up and I went forward when I went unconscious, and he wrapped himself around me and like kept nudging my husband until he paid attention, and then started tapping my back until my husband realized I was unconscious. Yeah. So the short answer is yeah, kinda, because he's not doing it like loudly, but yes, absolutely. And he is giving like deep pressure on the legs and trying to get me to regulate for sure. So,
Okay. I mean,
like,
it's amazing that. Oh, hello.
he is not wanting to get anywhere away from me right now. He is my
He's a
mom.
goodish boy. He's a good boy. You good. Get on the treats.
I gave him a bath today, and he was so scared. And so I sat down on the ground, and I was like, "Listen, I love you. I don't have the energy to fight you. We need to go in the bath." And he looks at me and he goes, he follows me, and I put him in because I do like the groomer style where I clip their thing up so they're standing. And he just sits there and accepts. And about halfway through, he looks at me and he goes, and he stands up and lets me actually fully wash him. And then after, I thought he was going to shake because husky shakes, you know? Nope. He laid down and he just looked at me. And I was like, did I betray you? And he just puts his ears forward. And I'm like, is that a no? You still love me? And I sit down and immediately he's on my lap. And I'm like, oh, I see what
Are
this
we
is.
sure? Whoa, who's causing that echo?
Huh?
I have an echo. Oh wait, no, not anymore. Are we sure he's not my sibling? He acts like me. He's my
He is such a good boy. I don't have a way to explain how good he is. Like, Lady is so hyper and he is so calm, but he's very much my dog. Like, Liam tries to take him out and he's like immediately tugging, pulling, trying to get back home. I take him out and he's like, we're walking, we're walking, we're walking, we're walking. Like, as long as he's with me, he's fine. If it's Isla, he'll like accept and like play with her a little, but outside of that, he's a mama's boy. Like,
Parker is definitely the long lost brother of Rogue.
Rogue, are you a German Shepherd, Swiss Shepherd, Belgian Malinois, Husky, a little bit of Pit Bull Terrier, American Pit Bull Terrier to be exact for the critics? Mix?
Yeah, I'm a mutt.
Is your tongue black?
Right now, actually, it is black.
That confirms it. Siblings with the Malinois black tongue.
Brother! I get portrayed too with bats. It's okay. We get portrayed, but we love them.
Okay, guys, due to me having to start this episode a bit late and still having to edit and get things out tomorrow, as well as going to look at a second bike because the first one did not pan out today, going to look at a secondary motorcycle for myself tomorrow because you only live once, and like, listen, I might not be feeling very good, but I am gonna do things that make me happy and make as many memories as I can. So I am gonna go to bed so that I have enough energy to do that tomorrow, as it is now 11 p.m. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. Y'all have made this an experience worth doing. Every single person who listens to the podcast, every single person who participates, every single person who does the interviews, who does the open mics. I will be doing these more with just singular questions and answers and communication. To every person who follows the Abrahamic faith that came up here and had respectful, honest, kind conversations, I see you and I appreciate you so much. That's rare and it's appreciated, and I love that. This is the community I'm trying to build. And to every person who is polytheistic, heathen, pagan, whatever you claim for yourself and for your experiences, thank you for being here, sharing your insights, sharing your space, sharing your thoughts, sharing your mind, and connecting to others who maybe don't agree with you. And this brings me to my final point. Religion should not be the fault line that divides a relationship. It should be the launching pad for understanding within your relationships. And if your religion tells you that others are not good enough to be around you, I beg you to ask yourself why. To ask yourself why. And decide if disconnecting from others is worth a potential afterlife. This has been another episode of I Got You Safe, Babe, with all the chaoticness of the puppies and the husband and all the amazing, wonderful guests. Thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate every single one of you. Have a fantastic night. Goodbye. Raven Findings Gifts and Treasures is a wonderful company out of West Virginia. They make multiple different statues, art, portable altar boards, and drinking horns. If this is something that interests you, please reach out on their Etsy store for any of their products there, or check out their TikTok page as well. Oculus 3 Knives is a wonderful heathen creator who hand forges these amazing blades and sells them directly from his TikTok page. If you are looking for the blade that might just suit you and your needs, you should absolutely check out his channel and reach out to him to make sure that you are getting the blade that you desire.